Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about that magic time in the pre-spawn where red lures and crawfish colored lures are going to outshine everything else. So let's dive in. We're going to get some underwater footage today. We'll see you out there. Alright guys, when we're talking about throwing red baits in the spring, we're talking about 50-degree water temps. So the first thing I'm going to do is open up my Omina fishing app and I'm going to find hard spots. And what I'm thinking about when I find hard spots in 50-degree water is crawfish. At 50 degrees, crawfish come out of their hibernation and they start to look to spawn, right? And they spawn on rocky, hard substrates. So if you get your social bottom hardness on Omnia, you start finding those hard spots, you're gonna find crawfish. Now, the big question then is, what lures am I gonna throw? The first lure that I pick up when the water hits 50 degrees is the red Rattle Trap. Now, most of the time when the water hits 50, it's going to be off-colored. This Rayburn Red Booyah One Knocker right here does a fantastic job getting bites in 50-degree off-colored water. Now, off-color is super important because, one, that red is crawfish. Two, that off-color water, it lets it be seen. It's got the nice hard thump and rock. But a lot of northern grass lakes have clarity like you see here. A lot of grass, a lot of good water clarity, and the red's not going to do as good. So here's where you switch to the brown, yellow, or that molted crawfish color pattern, because it's going to still give the appearance of a crawfish, but it does better for the water clarity. Here is that Guggen Baits rattle bait, and it does a fantastic job. I like the color pattern on it. I always start with a Rattle Trap because I fish a lot of grass, right? But if I go to a different lake with different kinds of water clarity, there's different options. If I go to a lake with 8 to 10 foot rock, reefs, ledges, I'm picking up the Wiggle Wart, especially 52 to 57. The Wiggle Wart is going to absolutely demolish fish because it's got a wide hunting action. It's also got that realistic red crawfish body. It's got that green. I've got 20 Wiggle Warts in my box. It does a killer job of hitting the depths that I want it to, of rooting around through those rocks and veins, and doing a great job of connecting with fish that don't normally see that. Now, if I catch a bunch of fish on a rock vein on a Wiggle Wart, I'm going to turn around and follow up with the jig. Most oftentimes I'm throwing the Ike mini flip finesse jig, 1/2 ounce at this time, and also I'm going to use an orange pinchered crawfish. For whatever reason, this is the literal go-to this time of year. That orange body red combination is great in clear water. The more subtle the orange or red, the better. The slower you want your presentation, you can work this bait really fast or really slow, but it is a great option. But one thing that you're going to notice a lot of times is, as the day wears on and the days become warmer, fish are going to move in closer. They're going to get off those deeper spots and they're going to follow those rock veins and hard spots that you find all the way up into the channels, up around the boat docks. And this is where the rattle worm is going to come into play. This is where the Ned rig is going to come into play. This is where a lot of different soft baits are going to come into play. I find that up shallow baits like the rattle worm, the narrow profiled slender body baits are going to do really good because young of the year crawfish come out and they look a lot like a Ned rig. But everybody throws a Ned rig these days. The rattle worm, with its subtle flex and dive, but also with that sound in it, is going to generate a lot of bites on hard spots for you. You can see here we're fishing it on a lifted jig head. This is one of my favorite baits to throw in that 54 to 59 degree water window because it's just simply what the fish are looking to eat, and that soft orange color looks really good underwater. It's got that nice flash to it. It really is going to draw a bass in. So guys, we've given you a lot of options here. Let's recap. When the water hits 50 degrees, crawfish are going to become mobile and active. You want to use baits that are going to contact the bottom in the depth that you are finding those hard spots, right? I'm going to start in 10 to 12 feet and I'm slowly going to work my bait into those shallow depths. Now, bass in the wintertime and early spring sit just like this bass under that log. It's chilling under that log. I want to fish a bait that's going to contact that log and look like a crawfish coming through there. I also want to use a bait like this DT8 right here that's going to give me the most bang for my buck. If I'm fishing in 8 feet, I should be fishing that DT8 over and through the cover because it's crawfish colored and it's hitting the correct depth and water profile. As the water gets warmer, fish will move shallower along those hard spots into the places where they're going to spawn. They're going to eat crawfish from 50 to 60 all the way up in. 60 and above, they start to become concerned with spawning, and that becomes a whole nother technique. But this is a fantastic way to catch bass in the pre-spawn. They just will eat those colors better this time of the year. And literally you want to consider water clarity means more subtle baits. Lack of water clarity means louder baits, right? If it's really dirty, fish something that's knocking their head off. If it's really clear, like right here, the Shad Rap is a great color play and a great subtle bait. Same thing, right? But in those 50-degree water temps, you can crank them up, you can jig them up, you can worm them up using red style baits. Guys, we want to thank you for hanging out with us today on the channel. Hopefully you learned something. Give us a like, up, subscribe, hit that Omnia link. They're running special right now. That'll help us out a lot. We just want to thank you for hanging out with us today, guys. Hit those notifications up, leave us comments, and let us know what we can do for you. See you next time.